Hi, and welcome back to It's Time for Yarn. Today, we're going to be talking about value yarns. You know, those workhorse yarns that you get to join together all those granny squares, or to finish up that scrap blanket, or to put a nice little border on something that you're making. Stay tuned, because we're going to talk about my favorite value yarns. Now, before we get started, I need to say that all of us have different opinions. All of us have different requirements for things that we want in our yarns and our projects. So my opinion could be wildly different than your opinion. And that's okay, because we're different people, and that's fine. I just want to share my personal thoughts and my personal ranking on the value yarns that I enjoy using the most. Now, this does not encompass every value yarn, naturally, but it's just the ones that I have the most experience with and the most thoughts about. So let's get going. Now, with all of these yarns, they all kind of balance out. I did the math. They all kind of come out to about a penny a yard. So the price isn't really the deciding factor on these yarns because they all are about the same price when you do the math, depending on the amount of yardage that you get within each skein, where you buy it from, how much it costs, that kind of thing. So the deciding factors for me are the yarn's texture, how it feels in my hands when I'm using it, the color variety, and its availability in the stores that I go to. And ultimately, we all can use whatever yarn we want. So let's talk about my number 5. We're going to do 5 down to 1. Okay, number 5 yarn. I've got some notes. Okay, so I don't usually look down and look at notes, but this is a lot of information. So I'm going to be looking down at some notes today, and y'all are just going to be okay. Y'all going to love it because I'm prepared. I've done some research, all those fun things. So my number 5 choice is from Hobby Lobby. Now, I do want to give an honorable mention to I Love This Yarn and Premier Basics. I did not include those because to me, those 2 yarns are kind of like a notch above value. They're like a little more, a little more bougie than just bottom of the barrel value yarns. So I didn't include those, but those are great yarns. But from Hobby Lobby, they're Crafter's Secret yarn in the Big Idea. Now, you see a lot of the Crafter's Secret in the cotton, and I don't use a lot of cotton, so I don't really have much experience with those, but they're Big Idea skeins. I don't have one with me because I used it. I have 2 blankets that I've used, 2 different of their gray. I like to use grays to join together my bright colored blankets because it kind of evens out the look of the blanket and pulls it all together, and your eye is drawn to the colors because you have a neutral that's joining it together. So I don't have a skein in front of me because I've used them all up, but they're number 5 out of my top 5. And I've written the pros and the cons for each of these. So the pros for that one is they have nice colors. They're the nice basic primary colors. They do have a Christmas variegated colored yarn, but mostly they have just teal, blue, red, orange, yellow, green, a couple of different grays, just very basic Roy G. Biv rainbow colors that are great for, I use it for, joining together pieces of other projects that you've got. That yarn is also very sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to pill very much. It's not an anti-pilling, so it will eventually pill, but it doesn't feel like it's going to pill as you're working with it, and it's not scratchy. It's not the softest yarn ever, but it's not the scratchiest either. It's pretty nice. It gets a little fluffy when you're using it. It's great. Some of the cons I wrote on here are that there's only some colors. It doesn't have a huge variety. It has a good variety. It has about 18 colors. Wait, hold on, let me see. No, it has 27 colors, but only some of them are available in the stores. It has 27 colors available online. So there's that. Then they come in big skeins. So that can be a plus if you've got a bigger project you're working on, but it can be a negative if you don't have that much of it that you need, so then you have a lot left over and you're like trying to figure out what to use that for and that kind of thing. And then also, because they're bigger skeins, it's a little bit of a bigger investment in how much it costs. They're about $11.99 a skein, but you get a lot of yards. You get 810 yards per skein. If you get them at the 30% off sale, they come out to about a little more than $8. So there's that. Keep that in mind. Number four, I'm a little disappointed in number 4 because number 4 could be ranked number 1, but they have a very limited color selection. I'm talking about Walmart Mainstays. Their yarn is so soft. It is very nice to work with. I never really paid much attention, I guess, to the softness of a yarn. Like the very first time that I realized wow, this is different than the yarn I've been using was when I was working on my rainbow Naya mosaic blanket. I was just using Red Heart yarns because that's what I had. Just using up some old yarns that I'd had in my stash. And all the way through I'd use Red Heart. Well, I got to the end and I needed some pink. I needed one more color. So I'll use a pink. So I just ran into Walmart. I was there already or doing whatever, and I saw they had pink. And I was like, oh, it's a value yarn, whatever. I don't know. I've never used it. I'll just use it because I only need it for one little piece of this blanket. I don't want to buy a bunch. So I bought it, and when I got it home, and I was switching back and forth between the black Red Heart and this pink Mainstays, the difference in the softness was amazing. I was like, wow, this yarn is soft, and it got my attention when I was making that blanket. So now I don't sleep on Walmart Mainstays. Walmart Mainstays is a mainstay in this yarn collection. So some pros: it is very soft. They have an excellent anti-pilling line. It is beautiful, their anti-pilling yarn. It is the most affordable in my opinion, just because it's, a lot of people go to Walmart. It's only $2.98, I believe, per skein. Let me check my notes. Yeah, it's only $2.98, $2.98. And so a lot of people can afford $3 for this trip. Spend an extra $3 on a skein of yarn at this grocery shopping trip. And then at the next one, buy another skein for $3. It's the most affordable. You don't have to put out a bunch of money at one time to get a skein of this yarn. So that can be nice for people who are really on a budget. It's sturdy and it's not scratchy. So it has all of these wonderful things going for it. But it has a very limited color selection. In some of my smaller Walmarts, you have the basic pink, blue, red, and maybe a purple, and probably a black. But that's about it. The bigger Walmarts that I can go to, they do have more like the yellows. They've expanded to like some greens and browns and teals. And I was like, wow, okay, Walmart, maybe they're listening. Are they listening? Hello. But if you go online, you can get access to more colors, but still online, there's only 12 colors of the solid, and there's 4 variegated, which I enjoy using the variegated for color pulling. It's a very affordable way to try out color pulling and to see if you even like the skill. So that's nice for that. So Mainstays, man, if you're listening, Walmart, if you're listening to little old me, give us more to work with, please, because you have some good stuff. You got some good stuff. Anyway, okay. Number three could very easily be number 1 as well. But they're so darn scratchy. Oh my gosh. Number 3 is Red Heart. You probably guessed it. I love Red Heart's color variety. I love its availability. They have it in lots of stores. All the yarn stores carry Red Heart. It's in Walmart. It's there. You can get it. Now they are having some issues right now with their colors. I know some of their ombres are a little different than they used to be, so they're going through some things right now. But for your basic, solid colors, for your basic variegateds, they are awesome. Now, look, this yarn is beautiful. This is retro stripes. I'm going to use it in a mosaic blanket with some black. Love these colors. This is amazing, but it's scratchy. it is scratchy. Now, I mean, it's not the worst. It's not like the most scratchy thing ever. It's not like scrub yarn scratchy or anything like that. But in the way of yarns, I've worked with yarn that is so much softer than this, aka Mainstays from Walmart. So I'm like, come on, Red Heart, give us something to work with. Come on, you know. So anyhow, that's just a little rant on Red Heart. So pros, it has the most variety of all of these yarns that I'm talking about. With Red Heart, it has 106 to 120. There's a little bit of like discrepancy of like where I was looking, but they have over 100 colors to choose from, and those are just the solids. They do have prints, they have variegated, they have stripes, they have flecks, they have heathers. They have so much to choose from, and that's awesome because, you know, you get a vision and you're like, yes, this is what I'm making, this is what I want to make, but you need a certain yarn for it. Red Heart most likely has what you're looking for, but con, it's scratchy and it's going to need to be washed to soften up. Now, that being said, when it is washed, it is sturdy. You know, it's not going to pill. It's not going to, well, it might pill a little bit, but it's not gonna disintegrate. It's gonna last a long time. So you have to weigh out if you have skin issues. Red Heart might be a problem for you, but if you don't, then hey, Red Heart might be number one for you. For me, it's number 3, just because of the scratchiness. Anyway, moving on. Number 2. Now, I put out a survey on my community tab on my channel to just ask you guys what you guys enjoy. I was just curious. And this one came out number 1. This is Joann's Big Twist Value. Now, I have used Joann's Big Twist Value. I buy it mostly on clearance, just because I was like just dabbling in that, just different types of yarn. You know, I've really in the past year since starting this channel really ventured out into trying out different kinds of yarns. So with the Big Twist, I enjoy Big Twist. It's number 2. You can usually find it on a good sale. They have a lot of color variety. It's available. You know, Joann, they keep it stocked. It's there for the most part. You know, and it's pretty soft. It's a softer yarn. That being said, a con is that it pills, or it kind of felts a little bit almost. I was making my argyle blanket where I had the patches, the swatches of argyle that I was putting together and making 2 panels of the coral in value yarn. Here it is right here. This one. As I was working with it, it was felting. You know, it was like pilling as I was using it. Like, I haven't washed it. I haven't done anything spectacular with it other than running my hands over it and packing it up into my project bag a few times, you know. And I'm like, this is already pilling. Like, what's happening here? So I want to venture out into Joann's anti-pilling line to see how that yarn feels. Because if it's anywhere near as good as their value yarn, it'll be great, and maybe it won't pill or felt as badly as you're working with it. So that was my experience, and it might have just been this particular one, but I have to do a little more work with other colors in their value yarn to be able to know if it's going to do that every time, or maybe it was just that skein. So if you've had that issue, let me know. And number 1 might be a surprise. I'm pretty sure it will be. Number 1 got the least amount of votes on my community tab poll, and I was really surprised. Like, whoa, like, really? I enjoy this yarn, and that is Michael's Craft Smart. Yes, I said Michael's Craft Smart yarn. Now, I have some pink here. I don't have the label anymore, that I was using in a project bag that I needed pink for. You guys, this stuff is so soft. It's squishy. It's fluffy. It's a dream to work with. It's beautiful. I love it. Now, I have to admit, I went into Michael's last week to look for more of this pink because I want to use it when I make my watermelon project bag, and they did not have hardly any yarn. They had lots of like Bernard and their Impeccable line, all of that, but like their Craft Smart, was practically empty. And I'm like, what's happening? This is good yarn. What are you doing to me, Michaels? But you can get it online. It has 32 colors. I really enjoyed this yarn. It's sturdy, it's soft, it's easy to work with. Now, it was readily available, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're just like restocking, if they're moving things around or whatever, but it is available online, so there is that. And I believe you can do where it ships to store and you don't have any like extra fees or anything like that, but I have to look into that. But cons, there's not as many colors. It does have more than Mainstays, which I'm telling you, if Mainstays had as many colors, it would have been higher than Michael's. But it doesn't, and Michael's Craft Smart doesn't have as many colors as certainly not Red Heart and not as many as Big Twist. And there's more colors available online than you can even find in store. So right now, this color that I did find in store, now I can't find it in store. So it's only available online. And they have colors that are only, well, I can't say they're only available online, but I've only seen them online. So to me, ordering it online and having the inconvenience of waiting for it is worth it. It's a great price. It's a great yarn. It's a workhorse. They have a lot of variety and I enjoy it. Since I've used this yarn, I know how it feels. I know what to expect. So I can buy with confidence if I have to order it online. So let me know if you were surprised at any of the things that you heard me talk about today. If you're surprised at what my number one is, let me know what your number one is too. If you didn't participate in my community tab, comment down below and let me know what's your favorite value yarn. It's yarn o'clock somewhere, so that means it's time for yarn. Have a great day, you guys.